I think we're ready now, aren't we, Jenny?
Yeah.
George, we're back again, but we're back together this time, George. So we're just talking to you as a couple, you know, and we were just discussing this. It reminds me of an old song, Darby and Joan, who used to be Jack and Jill, you know, and you'll probably know that. I haven't got my drums to back me up, so I haven't got the confidence I have when I have got my drums, you know. But anyway, it was nice. Mark was doing this for you, you know, and it's lovely talking to you. But we both said about that song, and you'll know it well, I would imagine, you know.
I don't know if you ever saw the film When Harry Met Sally, an American film with Tom Hanks and... No, it wasn't Tom Hanks, it was another actor. It was... but anyway, at the very end of the film, they get together as they're sort of married at the end, and they show all these different married couples at different stages of their lives, and they're sitting on a settee talking to the camera. And I said to Maurice before Mark set the camera up, I said, we're going to be like that film When Harry Met Sally, and they're all sitting in,
which was a lovely film.
Sitting and talking to the camera, just like we are now, which is really strange. But
I remember he was supposed to be very odd, wasn't he? The one in it, and there was scenes in it when he walks on pavings and he won't tread in between the
that's a different film.
Oh, was that a different film? Sorry, was it a different film? Oh,
yeah, that was Jack Nicholson.
Oh, Jack Nicholson. Yeah. Well, you know all those, I would imagine, because I'm sure you're very knowledgeable with all these things, you know.
Yeah. We have a channel on television that you have to subscribe to, and I think you must have these things on your television as well. And this one is called Netflix, and I've started watching lots of the foreign films, because somehow I'm not anti-American films, but an awful lot of American films are all to do, there's so much gunfire and police, and we're the same here. On television, at least, we have lots of police dramas and hospital dramas. So I've started watching these foreign films, and some of them are absolutely lovely. Apart from anything else, it's the scenery, you know, they're set in beautiful locations. And we can't travel now like we used to, but we can watch it.
I was watching one with Kirk Douglas. There was a brilliant, well, you know all about that, but was a brilliant actor, you know. And then there was another one with Alan Ladd in it, you know, all the actors of the past. And but I would imagine that you know all about people like that, you know, but they seem to be so good, those films in the past. Some of those films in the past, some were a bit corny, but they were good films, most of them. I quite enjoy watching some of them, you know, but I agree with Jenny. The thing I enjoy most is watching rugby, but I'm going to have a heart attack one day watching it, you know, because I get so involved in it, you know, because I used to play it as a boy, you know, and also, you know, I was in the army for 2 years, probably the only decent job I've ever done in my life, I would think, you know, in the army. But even then I managed to get hold of some drums and I managed to play, but the Malay bands were about the worst ones I ever played for in my life, you know. But I had a wonderful education in 2 years. I learned more in those 2 years than I've ever learned in my life before or since, you know.
We've had a pretty grim winter this winter, because in November, it was back in September actually, we noticed in this room, what's facing the wall that's facing us now, which is an outside wall, the wallpaper was beginning to ripple, and anyway, it was from a small leak in the roof, and it was coming down the back of our fitted wardrobes above the room above this, and it was coming down. So I got a builder in, and he said yes, he'd be able to fix it, and gave us a price. and we said fine. And then he was going to do it, and then he was delayed, and then he was delayed again. And then I said, well, I need it done before the middle of October, because we were going to Austria to stay with Joe and Irene for 3 weeks. And yes, he would get it done, but of course he didn't. And when we came back from Austria on the 5th of November, it still hadn't been done. And meanwhile, this wall looked much worse. And the night we arrived home, which was the 5th of November, we had the most awful storm. And whatever temporary cover he'd put on the roof blew up. And when we came down, Maurice came to draw the curtains in this room, and all the water would run down the wall, all into the carpet, all through the carpets. Oh, so we're in a real state. Anyway, what happened then, that was on the Sunday. He eventually came on the Thursday to do it, because we then had a lot of rain for the next few days. He finally came and did it, and it took him and a team of people about 2 days to repair the roof, and it was done. And then, of course, I have to put an insurance claim through and get quotes for doing
well, this
this.
fella that did it, I'd recommend him to my worst enemy, to be quite honest.
Anyway,
he was a nightmare.
Yeah, next week, next Monday, I've got a decorator coming in, and he's going to repaint the room, the ceiling, and we have got the money. The insurance company have been very good, but you have to get all these quotes, and then they have to approve them, which has all been done. The money is in the bank to replace the carpet here, carpet upstairs, and the redecoration. So they have been very good.
But she wanted them to replace me at the same time, but they wouldn't do it.
No, they didn't have anybody. Nobody's suitable. So anyway, so that's starting next Monday. So we've got to empty this room as much as possible. The piano will have to stay. This will have to stay, this settee. And the television and the stand will have to stay, but everything else we've got to get out of the room, and put it all. What's left goes into the centre of the room, and then I'll have to take the curtains down as well.
Well, it could be worse, but I can't think how.
So the man is going to take 3 days to redecorate, and I hope this man is good, because I don't know. I haven't, although he's been recommended by a reliable neighbour who is very nice, so I'm hoping it will be okay. Fingers crossed.
But anyway, getting back to the past, we had such wonderful times, seeing around your wonderful...
Sorry, that's my phone.
Oh, that's a phone.
I was going to turn it off if somebody
It drives me potty, that phone, Oh dear, yeah. But I was saying we had such wonderful times with you and Aggie, and I shall never forget it, And we made some good friends there, didn't we? While we were there. And
Mark sent a photograph made into a card for Mother's Day this year, and it was a photograph of me with Marta, who was the architect that used to live up the road to you in Budakeszi, and it's where Mark had his very first flat when he came to Budapest. That was in 1993, I think.
4:30, that happened.
And anyway, it's a picture. And Mark said to me, I think you were about the same age as me then, Mum. And I said, no, I think I was younger than you are now in that photograph, so it's a long time ago. But she had the most unusual flat, and I think we were sitting on this balcony, and it was all these lovely windows. It's most beautiful. It was a lovely flat, but Magda lived below, didn't she?
That's right. Yeah.
And
totally different. Yeah.
Totally different personalities reflected in their flats, really, because Marta's flat was very organised, not a lot of furniture, but what there was whereas Magda had loads of photographs and little things because she travelled a lot.
All over the years.
Yeah, and it was full of interesting things. A bit like your flat with all your lovely books and all the things that reflect your life, really.
And then where Mark was teaching, wasn't he, when we went to see those ladies, you know.
Oh, for the Parliament buildings.
Parliament building, and they had all tea laid out for us, you know. I don't think Mark was with us. He took us there. But he left us with them, though, didn't he? I don't think
so. No, he stayed in the room. Yeah.
No, because one of them said to me, "What was he like when he was a little boy?" I said, "Exactly like he's now, but a lot smaller."
Yeah, it hasn't changed. I don't think any of them have changed, really, when I think about it.
Yeah.
Perhaps David outwardly has changed the most because he comes across as very efficient, which he is, and quite...
well, he's a businessman.
Yes, but underneath he's exactly the same.
Yes,
he said you have to develop this kind of veneer, if you like, when you're dealing with business people, you know, but underneath he's a big softie like he's always been.
Absolutely,
and did you tell George you go to the gym every week?
No, I didn't tell him that. No. Yeah, I go with David to the gym every week, and he takes me in his beautiful Jaguar, which is absolutely lovely.
Very smart car, George.
Oh, very smart, yes.
But he says it's a car. He has to have this in business, you have these smart cars because they make a good impression, and it's the world we live in. I don't know if Maurice told you, but tomorrow evening there's a Labour Party meeting.
No, I didn't mention it.
And so I said to Mark that we were going, and Mark said, oh, I'd like to come to that. So he's coming to the Labour Party meeting, and I said to him, I phoned up the secretary and I said, is it okay if he comes? Because there are rules and regulations about non-members coming to branch meetings. Anyway, she said, I'm quite happy for Mark to come. And Hillary's going to be... She's driving down to Canterbury tomorrow to see a friend, because when they're down here, they take the opportunity to go and see friends who live in the south, because otherwise it's such a long journey for one visit, you know. So they do this quite often. And I think Mark unfortunately has got to go out on Friday. Somebody he knew has died, so which he's going.
But Hillary is a lovely person.
She is lovely.
She is really lovely. So I hope one day he marries her anyway.
Yes, it's about time.
It'd be lovely if he did, you know.
Yeah. I think probably once they're settled and Hillary's got a permanent job, they'll be able to settle somewhere, but at the moment they're in between staying in York with her parents, living in Manchester in his house, but they only come here for a week or so. But this is their life at the moment. They're all over the place. But once Hillary's got a permanent job, then they'll be able to settle somewhere. I don't know whether Mark told you, but she's applied for a job in Leeds University, and she's got an interview on Friday. Now, if she does get that, and who knows, then that would be perfect, because Mark's doing his PhD through Leeds University. It means they could settle in that area, and it would be perfect, but who knows. These jobs come and you just don't know how you're going to...
No.
Who else has gone for it? You don't know what the competition is, in other words. Yeah. But, anyway, I think that's probably long enough.
I hope there's... Yeah, probably, yes. Yeah, I hope they settle with each other, because she's perfect.
Yeah, they're very good match.
Very good match.
They are. They're genuinely very fond of each other.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Anyway,
I think that's about it.
Yeah.
Is it? Yeah.
You'll spend all your time looking at this, George, and probably be very bored. But anyway, we think of you often. We talk of our times.
Absolutely. Yeah.